What's up, guys? Getting in some work on chest and shoulders. So I've had to deconstruct my chest routine a bit by way of the incline press. So I've been experiencing a little bit of pain in my left shoulder and then also in my right arm where the bicep kind of attaches to the forearm. Um, so I just been feeling really tight around that area. Probably some deep tissue therapy would help. But as it stands right now, I'm just trying to work through that pain and see if it loosens up over time, and taking a kabuki strength pain pill to it on some days. Some days is better than others. But in any event, took my problem to a friend of mine by the name of Chris, and he just advised that I warm up with machine presses first. So that's what I'm doing here, getting in some pretty good volume on these too as well. No drop sets or anything crazy to start off with that. I like this because it gives me a really good stretch and I can adjust that handle. So we adjusted it to a pretty good, decent spot where I could stretch, and I'm just really trying to work through full range of motion. I stopped short of full lockout because full lockout on chest is worthless. And on top of that, as I come to a lockout, um, it feels like my bicep tendon just starts to tighten up. So with the work that I'm doing on incline press, I'm really just starting off at what is generally a warm-up weight for me, which is 225, and I'm just staying there for a bunch of sets and doing some extra volume. And what I found out is that as I keep the rest periods at a medium to low spot, um, my strength decreases even more significantly than what I thought it would. So the first set was 10 reps, then it dropped off to 6, and then it stayed around about 5 to 6 for the subsequent sets. I did about 5 total sets, and I do consider those work sets, with the last set being around about 245. So the goal here is to just basically increase my pressing strength through volume, and then on top of that, not to aggravate anything else with the use of excessive load. Again, the incline press is something I'm working to improve, and it's just going to take a little bit more time than expected to get to that point. But in any event, we're just trying to press more to eventually press more. Um, One thing that I would advise people is that the older you get, the more you have to pour into your warm ups. So make sure that you're warmed up before you put your hand on a bar and before you definitely even start your first exercise. So I probably should expand my warm up just a wee bit more, just to get the shoulders and triceps and chest ready for some action. So I'll probably end up doing that this week, as I'm still quite a ways away from the end date of Ramadan before I deload and go into a maintenance phase all that month. But in any event, doing some hammer strength presses here, and worked up to about 3 plates. Again, keeping my elbows a little bit tucked just to emphasize the chest contraction, which amazingly, if you do that, it changes the tension, and it works really well. Then going on to some flies on the Arsenal Strength machine here, plate loaded. Really just shot for a very, very strong pump here, and making sure that I went through a full range of motion. Really got a good squeeze at the top of the movement, so that's something that I really do appreciate with this machine. I think machine flies are far better than free weight flies, especially with a lot of these aches and pains that I have in my elbow, shoulder, biceps. So these come as a welcome change up from dumbbell flies, which I haven't really done. Probably won't do until I get this issue cleared up. But in any event, this was a good exercise, so go ahead and get out the way. Then we move on to shoulders. Now, shoulders is a little bit unique for me in that I do usually around about 2 to 3 exercises in this particular session, because I try to make it chest heavy. So obviously the shoulder work is going to be reduced. So I'm gonna have to change some things when it comes to that. So really only did 2 exercises, but for 5 sets apiece: hammer strength behind the neck presses, and then seated machine laterals on the prime machine. With the prime machine, because the hammer strength behind the neck presses are pretty straightforward, you can change the cam and you can apply pressure in different parts of the range of motion. So with laterals, the weight drops off significantly at the bottom. So you want to kind of keep that tension if you have this machine at the middle range and at the top range, because that's where the most muscular recruitment is going to come in. So I changed the cam to fit that strength profile and basically stayed there for 5 sets. It only looks like a half rep. It only looks like I'm coming down halfway. Um, but that's by design. Again, the weight at the bottom of a lateral, if you come all the way down, is going to drop off to almost zero. So you want to keep that pressure on your delt the entire time. All right, so just a quick one today, nothing too crazy. Monster leg workout, and let's get going. Okay, so that's it. Chest and shoulders. Trained later in the day, got a little bit more rest. Had a really good meal last night. If you haven't tried salmon croquettes, I'm telling you, you are missing out on a fabulous dish. Got some more fried up too, so we're gonna eat them up. But in any event, hit a little bit more shoulders later in the week on arm day. Trying to get more frequency in for the smaller body parts, hamstrings included, because they can take a lot of punishment. So we're just gonna keep on keeping on. Ramadan's around the corner, so like I said in previous videos, I'm trying to get to this overreaching state, so when I deload the week before Ramadan, I'm in a good place to just go maintenance volume for the entire month, and then when I come back, I can go into a priming phase and really set my body up for some hardcore gains. So we're going to keep pushing, we're going to keep striving, we're going to work really hard. So I hope all of you guys are well. Please like and subscribe to the channel. If there's anything in particular that you want to see, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to bring it to you, more than happy to discuss it. If it's within my realm, there's just some subjects I'm not advanced enough to talk about. So I will refer you to other people that can talk about them. But please, let me know what you want to see. All right? Y'all take care. Be blessed.